Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizziefayelovesbooks. I'm Elizabeth and I'd like to tell you about the books I read in the month of April. I read 12 books, I participated in 2 readathons, and I had a lot of fun doing it. During the first week of April, I finished 3 books that I had started previous to April. I wanted to get them finished up before the Tome Topple Readathon because they are books that are less than 500 pages. So the first book I finished is Welcome to Harmony by Jody Thomas. This is the first book in the Harmony series and I loved it. I really enjoyed this a lot. I can't wait to read the rest of the series. I wish I didn't have such a packed TBR for this year, but I'm definitely going to a lot of space for this series on my 2018 TBR because I absolutely loved this book. The next book I finished was the end of a series for me. This is Dust by Hugh Howey. It's the 3rd book in the Silo trilogy. The first book is Wool, then Shift, and then Dust. I was so happy that one of the libraries in our county ordered this for me. They ordered it both on audio and in print. I started out in print and then I eventually got the audio and finished it up. I checked this back out from the library so I could show it to you. This was really a great conclusion to the series. There was some foul language in it, but I didn't think it was excessive. Maybe a little more in this book than the first one, but this whole series was just super action-packed. And if you like post-apocalyptic, dystopian type of stories, then I would definitely look into this series. The 3rd book I finished was actually parts 2 and 3 of The Once and Future King by T.H. White. I was supposed to have gotten the entire Once and Future King finished by book club, which was the 3rd Thursday of the month, which was also the last day of Tome Topple. And I had already read The Sword and the Stone, which is the first part of this, so I wanted to go ahead and get those parts checked off my list. I listened to an audio version which was a bind up of those 2 parts, The Witch in the Wood and The Ill-Fated Night. I didn't particularly care for them. I probably enjoyed The Ill-Fated Night a little better than Witch in the Wood. I mean, The Witch in the Wood started out with this witch boiling a cat, so it didn't start out on a very good note with me. But I did get through it eventually. At the end of the month, I came back and finished Candle in the Wind, which is the 4th part of this, and also the Book of Merlin, which is usually bound separately from Once a Future King. But I found those 2 parts together on an audio, and both of those audios were on Hoopla. So now I have finished the entire Once a Future King series, if you will, and I can check that off my list. So for Tome Topple, I read a total of 5 books, and I have already done a Tome Topple wrap-up, so I'll just go through them quickly. I read Wonderstruck by Brian Selznick. I read Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. On audio, I listened to The Shelters of Stone by Jean M. Owl. Also on audio, I listened to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And on audio, I listened to Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. And then for the last 10 days of April, I started out by finishing the Once a Future King series, which I already mentioned. And then I started on Founding Mothers by Cokie Roberts and Where the Heart Is by Billy Letts. And both of these I finished during the Dewey's 24-hour readathon. And then around that same time, I started Eldest by Christopher Paolini. And I worked on this during the readathon, but I did not get it finished actually until May 1st. But I'm counting it. But on Goodreads, I'm saying that I finished it on April 30th because I read the majority in April. And stupidly, on April 30th, when I should have been reading the last 100 pages of this, I was just in such a mood to go back and read some of Illuminae because I had just read Gemina that I picked this up and I read almost 100 pages in this. So I'm not even counting this. I'm not even going to finish rereading it until later in the year, maybe in June. But if I hadn't read that, if I had just gone right on and finished this, then, you know, it would have all evened out and this would have been finished actually in April. So I did finish it on May 1st. I had no trouble finishing it the next day, and so this is my 12th book for April. So I had done a video after Tome Topple and before the end of the month with a big giant stack of books, and I actually got most of those read. And really the only one that I didn't even open is the Joe Leaphorn Mystery, the third one in this Tony Hillman bind-up called Listening Woman. I need to read this and several other Tony Hillman books before my July book club, so I'll be doing that in July. I almost did read everything that I showed you in that video, so I was kind of proud of myself. And then one other book I did start, but I am only about halfway done with it at this point, is The Land of Painted Caves by Jean M. L. This is the last book in the Earth Children series. I will be so excited when I finish this. Alright, some of these are upside down, but that's okay. So this is what my April looked like. Can you see them all? It was a lot of fun doing Tome Topple, and I'm excited that I got these books finished. I finished 3 series in April and made progress in several others. So I'm really, really happy about my progress on Project 17 and 17. And even though I didn't get 17 books read in April, that's okay, because in May I've got some short books coming up, and I feel quite certain that I'll be able to catch up and make up the difference. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.